What is good, guys? Welcome back on the Uncle Sham channel. How are you guys doing on this lovely Saturday afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you are? You know what we're here to do. We are here to preview the derby di Milano, derby della Madonnina, Milan derby, whatever you want to call it. Another big game, another massive game for this season. Round 3 of the Milan derby, and it should be. Yeah, I don't think unless some weird path puts us together in the Champions League, this is the last time we will play Milan this season. We've faced them once in the league, once in the Supercoppa. They're out of the Coppa Italia, so this should be really and truly the last time we face them, and it is probably the most important one out of all of them, because this Inter winning could put Milan in real trouble for top 4, because they are at the moment really struggling. This is the worst point of their Pioli era of the last 2 or 3 years. This is the worst era, worst slump that they've had in this era. So we really, an Inter win could really put them down into the mud. But at the same time, a Milan win could put Inter in the mud and bring Milan back to their normal level and back, to stay in top 4 and save their season, which at the moment is crumbling. So let's get into it. And then, of course, guys, the question down there, make sure you interact with the poll. I'm going to leave the poll now for about 10 minutes and then get back to the end result and see what you guys think. Should Milan Skriniar start? I know my thoughts, I know my opinion on this. I think you probably guys know my thoughts and opinions on this. I've talked about this in the past, so I want to see your opinions. So comment. Don't comment yet. Let's just react to the poll, and then we'll talk about it. And then you can comment more regarding this whole Skriniar situation. Tomorrow we are going to find out a lot about Skriniar situation. The what's it called? The Curva Nord is releasing the chat. They had a chat with Milan Skriniar after one of the training sessions this past week, and the I don't know what to call it, the interview chat that they had, the conversation they've had with Skriniar will be released within a fanzine, so a little magazine that the Curva Nord distribute out outside of the stadium. And I'm sure it's going to be sold out tomorrow. Tomorrow, everyone's going to be buying that edition of this fanzine. I don't know if it's paid or if it's, I think it is paid, but they say that, the contribution of that goes towards the making banners and stuff like that. But tomorrow we should find out a lot. And guys, make sure I've got the link to join in for if you want to join me on StreamYard for this live stream. Make sure you join me, and make sure at least you have some good internet connection and you're not a weirdo, a creep, or got at least some good audio. Actually, we've got someone in the house. Let me see. Hussein. I've got Hussein in the house joining me. Hussein, are you there? I can see you've got yourself muted at the moment.
Can you hear me, Uncle Sharma?
Yeah, you're a bit quiet. Are you able to maybe a bit louder, do you think?
I'll come back if you want. I'll just fix that and then you can invite me back again.
Oh no, actually it's fine. It's fine. It was my volume. It was my volume that was low. Don't worry. Actually,
okay. All right. Yeah. Now, it's good to see you, Uncle Sharma. It's been a while, but it's always good to be back on the channel, whether I'm watching or this is my first time talking, but regardless, the atmosphere, the community you've created, Uncle Sharma, I gotta give kudos to that. So I really appreciate that, and it's nice to see you're getting people on as well. I really appreciate that, and make sure to like and subscribe this video, guys, because Uncle Sharma channel close to 5K, guys. Make sure you get it there.
Almost there. We are almost there.
Almost
there. Let me just give a shout out to other people in the chat, bro. Well, before we get into everything, of course, I'm going to give a shout out to yourself. My boy, Correa.
That boy Correa, man, it's upsetting. I know some people on Twitter, they're talking about the Thomas jinx,
Mm-hmm.
But man, the situation. We knew what we were gonna get with Correa, but it just breaks my heart all the time because I want him to succeed, but he just gets injured all the time. That guy's made out of glass.
It's not even like at this moment he doesn't even add anything. So it's like the news came out today, and it was like, just as everyone said like, oh yeah, Inter's got a full squad back up, and then that lasted not even 24 hours. But it's the same time, bro. What are we even losing at this moment in time with Correa? Like we're not even, he's not adding anything to this team. So it's like it's a net. He's not a net positive. He's not even. He's just negative in terms of when he comes on. He's been booed every single time he comes on as well. As I've said for a while now, I think his time is Inter is over. He needs to realize it himself and try to force a move. He'll get his agent to find him a team. It's over. The guy's not. It hasn't worked out for him. It's a shame, but it is what it is. Massive mistake, 31 million mistake that we made. But it's time to move on for him and us. And yeah, well, do you? I don't even see. Yeah, the thing with Correa is like we don't even see who could actually come for this guy. Like it's just one of those situations where you think it's going to be maybe like Jean Mario, that we're going to have to like, or like, you know, we have to pay him out to like leave his contract or something like that, or Dalbert, where like it's
God,
gonna, you know, end his contract. It's
yeah,
it is what it is.
it's funny because I mean, transfer news is one thing. You always have random media sources tweeting like Correa is gonna go to one club like Newcastle, or he's gonna go to Spain, but it's just like nothing's authentic. We don't know where he's gonna go. We don't know what his stance is. At his time at Inter, all we know is that he came to the club because Inzaghi had the trust in him. That I coached him in Lazio. I'll bring him back here. But that hefty fee, it was around what 30 to 40 million, somewhere around that. That is too much for a guy that has hardly played and is just injury prone. So something has to be done. Like, you know what? I don't know who you can bring. For me, my desire is to try to do anything you can to bring Marcus Thuram, although that's going to be very difficult. I mean, he is going to be a free agent, yes, but wages, his wage demand seems to be high up there, and rightfully so, because he's having a good season at Gladbach. Just came back from a World Cup final as well.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be so difficult to get rid of him. And I was talking to Joe about it as well. He was saying, let's try to get him to Spain or something. But even like, I was thinking, how about we get him back to Sevilla? But it looks like Sevilla is getting into fine form again, despite they're like last place a few days ago. Now they're like back to mid-table. It looks like they won't need him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna be a tough situation. He definitely needs to force himself out of the team, whether it be a loan or not.
Exactly.
It's just difficult. Like Lautaro's playing well, Dzeko is playing well. Lukaku's on loan here, but at least that last match against Atalanta, he looked promising, so it was nice to see that.
And I liked him in the Napoli game as well.
Yeah, exactly. As long as Lukaku tries to put in the effort on the pitch, that's what matters the most, because that's, small steps to maybe him getting a few goals in the next few weeks or so. But with Correa, you just don't see any of that. It's just like you're playing with 10 men on the pitch.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, he only came on for 5 minutes against Atalanta, and he was booed when he came onto the pitch again. I think him and Gagliardini are guys that are like specific targets now from the fan base. So we saw Bellanova as well. I don't agree with that. Like, what do you think? Like, I just don't agree with the booing. Clearly, like if you're trying to get him out of the club, that it hasn't worked that way as well. So if you're just trying to say you're trying to get Correa out of the club, because it hasn't worked, because he's being booed for weeks and weeks now. So what do you think? Like, do you agree with players being booed when they come onto the pitch?
I don't think them getting booed will change anything. Like, as vocal as Curva Nord can be, I don't think them booing Correa or Gagliardini is gonna change anything, because we both.
This is actually the thing is the saying it's not even Curva Nord that boos. Curva Nord, funnily, like people have the image that these kind of like hard-headed Italian maybe thugs, they're the ones booing. Curva Nord, they're actually supportive of players most of the time, unless something has happened that wants to, like, they're actually the people that try not to boo and be like you saw with the Skriniar situation. They're against Skriniar as well. So it's actually the general stadium. Like, I've followed Inter for years and years. Like, it's San Siro crowd. Like, the general crowd is very, very picky, very hard to please.
100%. Yeah. It's been a long time since I went to the Meazza. The last time was actually Inter against Tottenham. Miss Vecino sometimes, but I also don't. But But yeah, no, like with the fans in general, like I guess you can put it in this way that with the recent success that we've been having as a club,
Yeah.
there are these fans that, I mean, yes, they're allowed to be vocal, but at the same time, I guess their standards have kind of pushed up as well, seeing like we're
Mm.
winning these trophies. Like literally, I have Darmian with the trophy as my picture. And so they're looking at the likes of Correa and Gagliardini, and I agree, they have not performed well. And Gagliardini in general has just been so sad to watch, and Correa as well, just getting injured all the time. But
Yeah.
again, these boos won't really help, or give, a note to the club to say, get these players out, because we know that what the club is going through right now, and especially the news that came out with Steven Zhang and how he might get investigated, like there's much more to it than just having to try and find a suitor for these players. Like we have to
Mm.
find out, Inter as a club itself, how can we solve our own issues? And it
Yeah.
seems like there's just too much going on in the background for us to even like know, if we're even gonna get someone new next season or not, because there's just so much going on. So yeah, I agree. Like booing won't help,
Yeah.
you know, with Correa or Gagliardini. But I mean, at the same time, I find booing Bellanova, that was too much, because he's just a young player, and I get it. He doesn't, you know, play that well, but he's a raw talent and he's very young. He
Yeah.
needs that game time if he wants to improve, but at the same time, he needs like support from the midfield when he's playing. I don't really see that, because the way I see when he's playing, he's always isolated. And
Mm.
so,
Yeah, I think
it just
when he's
doesn't help
brought
the
on,
club.
is just like, especially that game, it was like 10v11, and it was just like just go and like go take on players and like no support, as you said. Like you're trying to expect something from him, which
Exactly,
was just like too much to be asked.
for
Um,
sure.
Let me just give a shout out to Adam, who is going to be at the San Siro tomorrow. So, Adam, I hope you bring us some good luck tomorrow. And yeah, hope you're enjoying Como, Lake Como, of course, one of the most beautiful places in the world. Yeah, and hopefully you bring us good luck. And Haida, I want to just reply to his question. Yes, my channel has been remonetized now. I was unmonetized or demonetized for the past month. They tried to cut me. They tried to stop me, to stop the growth. But yeah, we back up. So yeah, you will see ads back again, onto the channel, and uh channel donations and all kind of stuff. So thank you to Mr. Anthony Lafleur, who just sent in a donation. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. I don't think he's even an Inter fan, actually. So appreciate that. Thank you, Anthony. And he says you guys should be confident heading into this derby with, oh, so he's a Milan fan. Yeah, that shows it. So that he deserves an extra shout out for that, actually, for being a Milan fan. Um yeah, I was saying, let's get into the actual derby. I'm gonna make sure you guys are interacting with the poll for Milan Skriniar. I want to keep voting, so we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Yeah, let's get into the derby tomorrow, Mo. Hussein, what do you think, lineup wise, feeling wise? Are you should we be worried about this Milan team that coming in, as Anthony says, with this defensive horror show? Like, they've conceded. So let's start with ourselves. 3-0, we beat them in the Super Cup.
Right.
Then Lazio beat them, 4 goals they conceded. Sassuolo smashed them,
It was like,
5 goals.
yeah, 5 goals.
Even Lecce, they conceded 2 goals. So yeah, what do you make? Like, should we be? Do you feel like Inter might be overconfident going into this one because how much Milan is struggling?
You know what? Like, derbies are derbies. Oh my God, demonetized since 2020.
uh,
But yeah, getting into the match, it's, derbies are derbies. Both teams, they will play at their best regardless of who is on the pitch.
hmm,
But when I look at the defensive woes, I mean, first off, we look at the goalkeeper differences. We have Andre Onana, and
oof.
man, it's a relief having him in goal, because I just feel so much more comfortable going into matches knowing he's there and not Samir. Shout out to
Yeah,
Samir though, but
yeah, always,
unfortunately,
always
of
the captain,
course,
il
our
capitano.
captain Il Capitano, of course, but Onana has just been playing superb, and they have Tataruchanu. I mean, there's no comparison there. I mean, even Milan fans, I don't even think, like the way I've seen it, they've been angry at him. Like they don't even feel sorry for him. They've been pissed off because it's like the standards Maignan has set up, and Tatarusanu is just leaking goals all the time. He's sort of like their Samir, but probably
Yeah.
worse. Like
Yeah, now they
he's
know
not
what we felt like, innit? Now they know what we've been moaning
exactly,
about.
exactly. Like man, that one save Tatarusanu made against us, was it a penalty?
Yeah, the one on Lautaro.
Yeah, that karma is hitting back, man. Everything is hitting back, and I'm happy to see that. But you see, like it's just starting from the back. Their defense is not really that great. They don't have a good goalkeeper. When I look at their defenders, just asking, do you have like an expected starting lineup? So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we know who's starting for Milan.
Yeah, I'll pull it up in a minute. Let me just give a shout out to Haida, who just became a channel member. Thank you very much, bro. Appreciate that very much. I am gonna be trying to do something now for like since I've restarted the channel membership or like the monetization now, like for members, because I know I don't actually do anything like special. So I'm gonna try to do maybe like yeah, like a Q&A, like you can just ask open questions and I'll make videos, like member only videos, just to like, yeah, have a little extra. But yeah, and Ahmad as well, my brother,
Nice.
hopefully he's sipping on some wine. He's always sipping wine when he's watching my videos, so hope he's doing that.
So
Yeah,
just saying, okay, so you're looking at the one from Sky Sport.
yeah, I feel like for me they're the most reliable when it comes to predicted lineups. They're not 100% most of the time, but I feel like they're the best when it comes to
Got it.
this.
Right, right. I'm looking at a Tutto Sport one. It's actually quite similar in terms
Mhm.
of the Milan starting lineup. So like Theo Hernandez. Now for me, I that's why I want to see Skriniar start at right center back because I feel like
Mhm.
Darmian at right wing back, he'll be solid defensively. And
Mm.
just because we know how Milan are going to play, they're going to be relying on that left flank of theirs
Oh
and do
yeah,
whatever they can. So I feel like having Skriniar and Darmian there is going to be our best option. That's obviously my take, though. I think everyone else might feel not so the same. Some people might want Darmian at right center back and Dumfries at the wing back spot, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I just hope if Dumfries does start, he
mm.
takes on he takes on his defenders more and he puts in more crosses, especially because we're doing really well with our crosses the last time we played Milan, which was in the Supercoppa.
Yeah.
Crosses from like, I think it was like Barella and all these guys, and we were just breaking them apart, breaking their bad line.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel
So
Dumfries has
what's your preferred lineup on the right? So your team Skriniar, you want to start Skriniar tomorrow?
yeah, I want Skriniar to start tomorrow.
Hmm.
Acerbi and Bastoni in the back. De Vrij was good, but I think Acerbi has been
Yeah,
solid and deserves to start.
yeah, definitely.
Darmian, right wing back, DiMarco, left wing back,
Yeah,
usual
no
midfield.
Dumfries, no Dumfries.
No Dumfries. I think it's better if he comes off as a substitute.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Um,
think he gets too rattled by Theo. Like he hasn't learned how to like
right.
handle his energy correctly. Whereas Darmian just gets on with it. He doesn't get involved with anything. He just does his job.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
not
Like,
too affected by whatever Theo does to him or says to him.
yeah, Darmian doesn't care, man. He's the player that's like, he's not all talk. He does his talking on the pitch, and that's what I really
Exactly.
like about him.
Yeah.
And the midfield is going to be, for me, like Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu, Barella.
Hmm.
Um, and the two forwards, for me, I want Lautaro and Dzeko to start.
Yeah. So
So,
basically, the team that won us the Super Cup, that's the
yeah,
predicted starting, and I agree with you. Yeah, I think that should be the starting 11 as well.
yeah, exactly. So that's my team. I mean, again, Lukaku was good against, what's it called, Atalanta, but I
Mhm.
just feel like, we've already gotten a result with Dzeko starting. So it's just really as simple as that. But also because when I look at Milan, I mean, they're going to have, Kier and it looks like Kalulu as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
so Tomori is out, even though yeah he's been out of form, bang out of form, but yeah, it's not
yeah,
their ideal partnership at the back.
yeah, that Milan team does not look good, man. Like that's a bit worrying for them. Like Kalulu, Kier, I mean, individually they're pretty good, but as a partnership, I mean, that's not really their starting partnership, so that's not going to be too good for them.
Mhm.
Calabria at right back. I mean, I think he's okay, nothing crazy. Now their midfields. I've seen that they're saying, Pioli's trying to test new things, like having Salamakers at right back or something like that, and Messias and
God.
all these other positions. Yeah, they are down bad, and it's a bit weird. I don't know how to feel about it, but I mean, I'm looking at like Messias and Krunic and Salamakers. Again,
Mm.
this might just be, the arrogance or something. I don't know, but I just feel confident going against that kind of team,
Oh
just
yeah.
because we have, Barella and Çalhanoğlu. They're very good at keeping the ball, and even Mkhitaryan as well. Actually, I look at that kind of team, and Tonali. It's a tough one because Tonali's good, but I feel like he's gonna lose his. I think he's gonna lose his head against our midfield because of
Yeah,
how we keep
especially
the ball.
without Benacer. Benacer, to me, he's really the key to like their midfield. He's the one who keeps it ticking. He's just like the engine, the guy who keeps it simple as well. And yeah, like
Yeah,
I don't know about Junior Messias being tested as a center mid in a game like this. Seems a bit desperate. Um,
yeah.
I'm surprised Pobega's not. Well, what about the Tutto Sport lineup? Do they have Pobega in there?
Oh, yeah. Actually, the Tutto Sport had Pobega for Messias
Yeah,
in
that
that.
would make
Yeah,
more sense to me because he's actually a center mid.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
even though he looks and runs like Skriniar, and that which is not a good thing for a midfielder. He's very clunky, and Milan fans, I know, especially our boy Football Karim, he moans about him a lot on Twitter. But
Right.
that would make a lot more sense to me to start an actual midfielder. And Krunic is that he's just that like guy that does a job for them, isn't he? Like a 6 out of 10, 6.5 out of 10, but nothing outstanding.
Yeah.
So yeah, like a workman like midfield, I guess you could say. I wouldn't be surprised that they go kind of defensive because they've been struggling defensively so much. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of just sit back a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, if they do sit back, that's going to be tough then. When we saw Atalanta sort of, was it Atalanta? When they were sort of, yeah, so they were kind of sitting back and they had allowed their defenders in their box basically. And
Mm.
I think that's where, Lautaro and Lukaku, however, that's when they really they were using their abilities really well. Lukaku, I mean, he didn't do much, but he always has like two or three men on him. So
Yeah.
that's Lukaku. But Lautaro was really good with his one-touch passes,
Yeah.
and Çalhanoğlu, like I said, with his ability on the ball, he just doesn't lose it. And so we kind of need more of that, as well as probably Dimarco trying to go up a bit more and staying wide
Mhm.
so that there's some space being created for our players. But otherwise, I think they will go defensive, like you said. But I still think we can beat them in that sense because, again, I just look
Yeah.
at
They're
Kalulu
just
and
bang out
Pioli.
of form everywhere. Like every player,
Yeah,
I can't point to one player that's like playing well for them. And like
exactly.
Leao has like completely fallen off. Tonali has been awful every time I've watched them. Kalulu, Tomori been making mistakes. Hernandez, Teo since he's come back from the World Cup. Him and Giroud especially, he's been looking like Dzeko. What we did to Dzeko last year. He looks really burnt out. And yeah, Salamakas is just Salamakas. He's never been good anyway. But yeah, Magnan. I mean, they've been missing Magnan for 4 months, which is massive. But at the same time, bro, I was thinking about it today. No one
Yeah,
speaks about how we've missed Brozovic for 4 months, pretty much, because he hasn't played since like mid-September, late September. Um,
yeah.
that's like you could say that especially last season, probably our best player was you could say he's top three player for Inter, and then Lukaku's been missing for most of the season as well. So we've had to deal with a lot of injuries too this year.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, injuries has happened in
Yeah.
football, right? But for us, it's like we have a lot of, especially attackers, that are very injury prone.
Oh,
Milan, it's not like when like Magnon, it just it just happened. It's not like Magnon's injury prone or anything. And when you look at their other players, I mean, maybe their right back position and some other defenders, they can be injury prone, but that's really it. We've had, Lautaro at many times being injured, Lukaku being injured, Correa being injured, then Dzeko just getting burnt out simply. So we're just making the most of what we have, but at the same time, there's some good management from Inzaghi because he's had more trust in Dzeko this season. I think last season we just saw Dzeko for like a few times in the beginning of the season, and then he was used so much to the point where he just got burnt out. But this
Yeah.
season we see that he's using his options carefully. So when Lukaku was out, he knew that okay, let's use Dzeko, but Dzeko was actually playing well. And then when Correa and Lukaku came back, he just stick with it rather than putting Lukaku back on or Correa back on. It's about how you use your options wisely, and that's been the case for
Yeah.
our team.
Yeah, no, 100%. Inzaghi always points to the fact that he wants the four strikers to be able to rotate. And then, yeah, obviously with Correa's injury today, once again, that's out of the window. But yeah, we know. What do you think of, like, because there was articles saying that Lukaku is even like a potential surprise starter for tomorrow, because he's used as a substitute. He's useless, Lukaku. Like we've seen that he's a diesel. He takes him a while to get into a game, just as it takes him a while to get fit and things like that. Whereas Dzeko, like we saw in the last derby, if you remember when he came on as a substitute, just he's able to make an impact even as a sub.
Yeah.
I would stick with Dzeko, Lautaro, to be honest. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really tough to judge because it is true. Lukaku is a sub, hasn't been too great. Meanwhile, Dzeko can play either starting or as a sub, and he's always had his impact.
Yeah.
What I would say is that I guess my issue is that if Milan do play really defensive, then that's when Lukaku could be optimal just because of his hold-up play. When he has a lot of guys around him in the box, I think that's when he can benefit the guys like, Lautaro and, Barella and whoever comes in the box as well. But at the same time, I just don't see Milan like in this game sort of with their best players. Even though it's a derby, I just feel like you can still take advantage of them, which is why I have my trust in Dzeko. I just feel like with Dzeko, you can give him one pass and he just knows when to shoot. He knows when to take his chances. Meanwhile, for Lukaku, there's still times I've seen him, especially against the Atalanta game, where I feel like he could have made his decisions better. There are times he could have shot the ball instead of passing it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's how I feel about this. That's why I think, regardless of how Milan play, I think Dzeko should still start.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got more Milan fans coming into the house, coming and jinxing us, saying 6-0 Inter to Milan. I mean, this is, if there was a time, Hussein, for us to take revenge on that 6-0, was it 6-0 or 6-1, historic defeat we had ages ago, 2000.
Yeah, it was 6-0, yeah.
Yeah, this is the time to potentially.
This is the time.
Yeah.
This is the time. Like you have to break them before they play against Tottenham, So I think this is the time to do it.
Yeah. 100%. This is really could be the nail in the coffin of their season, potentially. Thank you. I want to give a shout out to Eduardo, long-time supporter of the channel. Thank you very much for the donation. He is feeling confident. Eduardo is not always the most positive of Interisti, but he's feeling really confident. It's going to be an awesome derby. Yeah, I think it is. It's got weirdly. It's so funny. Like we were going last year, we were the two teams going for the Scudetto, and now this season, it kind of, I'm not going to say it feels like a Banter era derby, but it doesn't feel the same. Like we're not even nowhere near Napoli. They're really struggling at the moment, and their squad on paper just never looks that good anyway. Do you agree? Like it does have like a making of almost like a Banter era-ish derby for some reason. Like it doesn't feel as prestigious. I don't know. Like it's hard to explain, but do you agree with me? Like it's something not quite right.
Low key, it does, man. Honestly, like I think the best way to put it at this point, I mean, they have more to play for than we do in the sense that, I don't even think they're in top 4 at the moment. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but they have to get a result, otherwise they're screwed. Meanwhile, for us, I think we're still second in the table.
Oh yeah, they're sixth as it stands right now on level on points with Lazio.
Okay, so if they do win, they will be ahead of us some point. So actually, it is an important game
Yeah.
regardless. I just think Napoli's been playing, so well that it just feels like a Banter era derby. But reality is, I mean, Champions League is going to be a huge focus
Hmm.
for us no matter what, and especially for man up there like Steven Zhang. He's gonna want that Champions League money, so
Oh
we have
yeah.
to we have to win it. But I just guess it feels like Banter era derby just because one Napoli's just playing so well, so it feels as if they're gonna win the league. And you know what? Kudos to Spalletti. I'll say he's been doing a good
Yeah.
job. But at the same time, I mean, the Milan squad on paper just looks so bad. Like I don't want to rub it in, but it's just like
No, no, I've been saying it for so long. Like even when they won it last year, it wasn't like disrespect to Milan fans. It's just like it just never struck me. Like I never look at that team and think, "Oh man, I'm scared," or like, "Wow, what a team!" It's just kind of like some nice players, some like real good individuals in there. But yeah,
exactly, and that's the thing because at least with their team last season, like they always had a surprise with them, and that surprise was Leao.
hmm
He was always coming in and changing the outcome of their matches. But now, at least this year, Leao hasn't really been that same player that we know of.
yeah.
Like
Well, especially
I
last few
think,
weeks.
yeah, especially the last few weeks. There's some teams they figured out how to stop him, but at the same
Finally,
time, yeah, that's been important, man. There's always the left hand side, and the
yeah.
same goes for Theo. Like teams have been able to stop him as well, and I guess that's really our best bet to win. Trying to you know put Leao off his brakes, and same with Giroud because that man Giroud, oh god,
Oh man,
last year's derby, man, how he
that's
changed the game
the man.
really pissed me off.
Yeah, yeah, and even the last one, the 3-2 one, man, just like completely leaving him unmarked. Like the defending I saw in that 3-2 defeat was some of the worst I've seen in a into team, man. Like from guys like De Vrij, Skriniar, Bastoni, I just wouldn't expect that even on the worst day. So
Yeah,
I don't want to see any of that. There's a good question here from my boy Jono in Australia. I mean, obviously, us as Inter fans might have bias, but what do you think as an outsider? Like to me, purely, I think he's got too much credit in the bank. Like the fact that they won the Scudetto last year, and there wasn't even their project to win the Scudetto. Their project of Elliot and now even Redbird is like, I'm pretty sure they're happy with top four. They weren't building a team to win the Scudetto. Their budget isn't Scudetto winning budget, salary wise, transfer market wise.
yeah,
So I think he's got too much credit in the bank, even if they lose tomorrow. But at the same time, there is a new ownership, and when ownership comes in, usually they have different ideas compared to the previous one. So it could be important, but I don't think he'll lose his job after if they lose this. What do you think?
right. I don't. Yeah, to me, I think despite the new ownership, I don't think he will lose his job. I
Hmm.
think Pioli has been doing well with his current resources, and at the same time, I think Pioli is just suffering from a few injuries as well as there's something. It's like mentally, basically,
Hmm.
something going wrong with the team, and maybe you can put the blame on Pioli, but at the same time, who's going to replace him? In my opinion,
The same
there
issue
are
we had, right? When we were taking
exactly,
Inzaghi out, who's going to come
yeah,
in?
who's gonna come in? Like, there's not that many options, and I know someone might say, like Tuchel or something like that, but I don't know if he's gonna come into this team very early. I don't know if like a Klopp is gonna come to Milan. I mean, anything's possible, but at the moment, their only choice is probably to get Ranić back again.
Yeah, that was the original plan. Instead of Pioli, that was the original Elliot plan to
Exactly.
bring
Yeah.
Ranić in. So that would have been. Oh yeah, Gattuso is free right now. They can run it back, run it back.
Oh my
Gattuso.
God. I do not know if they would actually do that. If they do, you know what? Credit to Gattuso, another job, but nah, they just need to keep it with Pioli. And I'm not saying this because of their current form. Obviously, I'm not saying it because of that, but just because, look, again, Pioli won the Scudetto. It's obviously a great accomplishment for him.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm still bitter that we lost it that season, but at the same time,
I'll never get
comp-
over it.
of course, yeah, man. Like I'm still pissed off, but at the same time, competition is what makes teams stronger. And right now, I mean, yeah, we're still struggling in some sense because we could always try to do better than we are now. But at the same time, we just have to make the most of what we have, and Inzaghi's been doing that. Second place, semi-final of the Coppa Italia. We have a match against Porto soon. I'm looking forward to that as well. So
Oh yeah,
things could always be worse. So.
yeah. No, 100%. I wanted to get on to the Milan Skriniar question, bro. So the poll ended with where is it? So it ended with 64% saying obviously yes, they will start Skriniar, and 35. Oh, the YouTube calculation is all off. I was at that 64 and 35%. That makes no sense. But yeah, 35% said no, they wouldn't start him. So you've said your part. You would start him, and I want to see people's comments on that, and I agree. And it looks like from Inzaghi's comments today in his press conference, he will start. He says, I mean, he never really gives it away, Inzaghi, in his press conferences, but he's saying will probably start in the derby. When he spoke today, he's not concerned about Skriniar. He says, I don't judge his choice. I judge him as a person and as a player. He's a brilliant guy who always works at his best in training. We still have today's training and tomorrow morning, but in all likelihood, he will start the match. And then he confirmed that Skriniar will no longer be the captain. This is something that has been discussed calmly with the player and the club. The captain is Handanovic, and then we will make choices based on the amount of matches. Like we've always said, it's not Skriniar was never given the captaincy. It's just the hierarchy of appearances with the club and time spent at the club. But now he won't be even temporary captain, which I think is the right decision. But as I keep saying, to me, he still is our best defender. He still is our leader at the back, and I would expect him to use this game, this derby, to be like the game that convinces Inter fans and gets us, believing in him until the end of the season. And as the predicted lineup say, he is looking to be the starter tomorrow. And yeah, what quick thoughts? I know you said you want Skriniar to start, but quick thoughts on the Skriniar situation from your end.
Our club has just been really slow with some of these contract renewals. Skriniar has become a victim of that.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm ashamed that he has to go to PSG out of all the other clubs.
Yeah.
But it just happens. It's football. He's gonna get a lot of money at PSG. I don't even blame him.
No,
But
100%.
but that's the thing. We have to really start working quick if we're trying to renew Hakan. That's been the latest, and it's good to see. Hakan has been performing really well, especially with the absence of Brozovic. He's been doing really well.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's the one that got that goal against Barcelona that was really crucial for clinching knockout stage football. So that was obviously great from him. And we gotta move it on from Hakan to someone like Bastoni. We have to renew him as soon as possible. He's like an important defender for Inter. He's gonna be one of the most important defenders, for Italy as well. It's important we keep him at Inter. So I mean, we just have a lot to work on with contract renewals as well as contract, expirations for some of these players. So again, I don't really blame Skriniar for that. It's just been really slow from our board. Not getting what he wants. And I get it's expensive, but for a player of his caliber, he really does deserve, that kind of money because he's playing at a world-class level. I would say he is world-class. Maybe some people that don't watch Inter don't know, but I feel that he is world-class. Every time I watch him, I hardly see him make a mistake, and he looks so comfortable on the ball at times.
Are you Hakan FC, as confirmed by Ahmed?
Am I Hakan FC? Of course I'm Hakan FC.
Hey man, since he's moved to Regista, I can't lie, I'm gonna be Hakan FC as well. He's really moving me in that position. I can't lie.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing. Some people don't really like what Inzaghi's been doing at the club, but at least working with Hakan at that position, it's really been benefiting us with Brozovic out and Mkhitaryan coming in. So I've been really liking that from Hakan. I mean, there's still times he does his stupid long shots and whatnot, thinking he's at Hamburg and everything. I mean, he can work a bit on that, but otherwise, everything else he's doing really well. He hasn't really put in a foot wrong. So I'm happy with him.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And yeah, it looks like actually today, one of the reports I read with Hakan, actually, if I can pull it up, it says he might even lower his salary to 4.5 million to sign the new contract because he earns like 5. I know it's not like a massive lowering, but still
Wow.
understanding the situation. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Hakan, if I type in 4.5 million. Oh, no, can't find it now. Of course, I should have bookmarked it. But yeah, I read something along those lines, and I read that Bastoni is already they're already looking to sign up Bastoni. So yeah, hopefully they've learned from the mistake of not renewing Skriniar on time, and yeah, we can move on from this saga at the end of the season. But as I said, I reiterate, to me, yeah, maybe he did choose money over legacy, but at the same time, it's like, it's hard to blame him. It really is hard to blame Skriniar on this thing. And tomorrow, as I said, tomorrow we will find out more on the story. The fanzine that the Kurva Nord are releasing tomorrow will talk about the conversation he had with the Kurva Nord members to explain the situation. So I am looking forward to reading those statements. So I hope that at least we find out more. I hope it's not just like, just some basic stuff that like, oh no, it's just, I'm a professional and this is, things happen like this. I hope there's actually some details revealed over what happened and the reasoning behind his decision and things like that. But yeah, as I explained in my last video, the mistake obviously was not renewing him last year. Even if we wanted to sell him, we should have just renewed him, just like Torino renewed Bremer, even though they knew they were going to sell him.
Yeah, the planning has been just horrendous, man. Like,
Yeah,
thinking you can sell him and then getting Bremer after, like, nothing's been working out. I don't know, who is behind this, whether it be Marotta, Ozili, or whoever. But I just think they need to just look at what they've been doing, like with other signings in the past, and just yeah, it's just been really sad because right now, if Skriniar goes, I mean, the replacement options have been, I think, like Becao. Is that how you say his name? Like from
yeah, Becao,
Udinese, Becao, and then Demiral. I know you like Demiral, but you don't want him at the club yet because you don't think he's like ready.
No, I just don't like him as a right centre back. Like if he came as like a Cherby's replacement or De Vrij's replacement, then definitely, because that's what he plays for Atalanta as well. I just think he's not made to be the right centre back.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. And then the other option is like Pavard, but I don't know if that will happen. It just seems too expensive.
Yeah, I think from what I saw, he earns quite a lot at Bayern Munich, and yeah, he still has a
Yeah,
year left on his contract, so we'd have to pay him plus the wages. And yeah, even he,
exactly.
like, as an option doesn't really convince me too much either.
Yeah, some people have asked me about him, and I would say that he's not a bad defender, but I think the issue
Oh yeah,
is,
you support Bayern Munich too, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, I do watch them. I will say the issue with him isn't that he's bad; he's just inconsistent. But
Mm.
also with French press, he's been sort of like a Brozovic, where it's seen as like he can be problematic at times. Has some
Really?
issues off the pitch. Yeah, like
He
for
doesn't
example,
look like it. I don't know,
he,
like, you
he
know what I mean?
doesn't.
Like he looks like a clean cut player.
Yeah, exactly. That's what people think. But then there's talking about stuff like what he does in Munich, like
Mm.
post matches or stuff like that. Talking about how he's like a heavy smoker and everything. I found that to
Yeah.
be a bit weird, but people were just saying he's very problematic in French press. And that guy, Roman Molina, the guy that was
Oh
going
yeah, yeah,
crazy with all these kind of news, he was one of the few people that actually said how, some of the things Pavard would do. So that's why I'm like, look, I know we have Brozovic and stuff, um, but I think just regardless, he's just too inconsistent for my liking. Yeah,
yeah.
he could be a good option, but I just think maybe Becao would be the best at the moment.
Yeah, but even with Bakao, like, you know, I think he would be okay as a like a backup option, but I just don't see him being the starter at Inter. Like, if we can get him for 10 million, I guess I see Serie A proven, 27 years old, good age to come in. 3-5-2, he's played right centre back all the time, so it makes sense, but it it just doesn't really strike me as the long term correct option. I like more the names, like, the Thiago Giallo, the little guy. Even though I've never watched him, but I like the profile, as in like a 22-year-old athletic profile. Mavropanos, even I like those profiles a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be tough to find a right center back and
Oh
someone
yeah, of
as
course.
aggressive as Skriniar.
Yeah.
Man, it's just issues with what we have in the bank. Otherwise, I have so many names in my mind that I wish we could get.
Mm.
If we had the money, I would have gone for someone like Simakam, for example.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
like I
he
like those types of profiles. Yeah.
exactly he would have been like perfect profile. He was close to joining Milan at some point as well,
Yeah.
so that would have been cool. Like having him with us, getting revenge on them, making them regret getting Tamori, whatever. That would have been cool. But
Yeah. What
when you
about
said
Chalaba? And by the way, I want to give a shout out to Almighty Blues, because tomorrow I'm going to be on his channel to preview the derby as well. So make sure you guys check him out. He's a Chelsea fan, but also an
right,
AC Milan fan, unfortunately. But yeah, Chalaba, I was cool with getting him like on a loan, just to like look, like test him out a little bit. But the more I've watched him over this past season, I'm not convinced by him.
I have not seen him in a long time, but I remember we were trying to like get either him or like was it like Zagadou or something like that. It was like one of
Yeah.
those names. That
What
that
happened to
was
that guy?
that was so random. That period of time, just wanting to go for one of
Yeah,
those two
it was just
defenders.
like desperation. It was just like anyone, like any centre back in the world that's available.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's at
And
Stuttgart now,
he's
Zagadou.
at he's at Stuttgart, yeah. And Zagadou's been not good. That's all I'm gonna say. So good thing we didn't get him.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
we knew that, like, if Dortmund are not gonna let a guy like just walk for free, like just
yeah,
it was the red
exactly.
flags all over with that guy. But it was just like a kind of physical, athletic centre back, just like could have been useful potentially, but on a free. But
Of
yeah,
course,
clearly
yeah.
not good enough for a big team.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Cherby DeVry. That's good depth. Despite
Yeah.
DeVry's, I guess, so-called recent performances as a whole. I
Mm.
mean, although he was good last game, but it's like DeVry is still quite inconsistent. But I still trust him though because he's been with us for quite some time. But at the same time, I know he can perform at his best. It's just a matter of how he
Mm.
handles it. I just think there's times recently he doesn't handle himself under pressure very well.
De
But
Vrij.
DeVry, yeah.
Yeah. Like the other day against Atalanta, he was like one of the best matches this year. He had, I think, Barcelona. He was good against Barcelona.
Oh yeah,
Um,
he was
Pocketed
good.
Lewandowski.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, you can still see he's got those matches in him, but it's just like, yeah, like you just can't trust him, especially in open space. If Inter are pressing or like trying to be
yeah,
progressive, you just know he's not that guy for us.
exactly,
Whereas the
100%.
Cherby somehow, it like even when we're like high up the pitch, somehow he kind of like manages to defend well.
Yeah, Cherby's been a huge surprise. Honestly, I don't know who said to sign a Cherby. Maybe it was Inzaghi himself. Kudos,
Definitely with
man.
Inzaghi.
Honestly, it has to be. Yeah, but it was like I was a bit overwhelmed with his
Mm.
signature, but he's been crazy good, man. I've enjoyed watching him on the pitch, so it's good to see that. But
Yeah,
that's the issue. My issue with Skriniar leaving is that we looked as if we had with De Vrij gone, we put a Cherby in. Looked like we found another balanced trio for our back line, but now we have to just restart all over again. Finding
yeah.
someone to replace Skriniar. That's the bummer part because last season we were worried if we sell uh, Skriniar, we might get like Bremer and then maybe
Mm.
Milinkovic or something like that. So it's a whole new restart. But now
Yeah,
we
I
have to kind
remember
of do
at
it
the
again.
beginning of the transfer window, it was Bastoni. Remember when Spurs came?
Oh yeah, Bastoni as well, man. That was
Mm.
funny. I knew he wasn't gonna leave, but
Yeah,
these
he was
Spurs
like,
fans
bro,
did.
give me a new contract. Forget Spurs, please.
Yeah, it was what was it? There was this like I don't know if it was a match or a friendly where Italy was playing in England and everyone thought he was gonna join Tottenham, but it was just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
match for the national team. So these guys were
yeah, it was so
desperate.
silly. And it was so funny, like Bastoni showed, I guess this is where the contrast with Skriniar comes. His agent was like doing some weird talk when the links came out. And then one day after, it was clearly like you could see Bastoni send his agent out to like do a U-turn. He was like, no, Bastoni's really happy at Inter. Like you could see. Like Bastoni is just like nah. And usually like these Italian guys, like it's similar to like how English guys barely leave Premier League. These Italian guys are not really looking to leave Italy.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they shouldn't really have to. I mean, Bastoni's been, doing well at Inter, and
Mm,
he's still making a name for himself whilst playing in Serie A. A lot of people have, finally seen his performances, whether it be in Serie A or Champions League, and they know he's a quality defender and one of the
yeah,
best on the ball. So that's obviously great for Bastoni.
yeah.
But again, we got to renew that contract, though. They got to
Oof,
move really quick.
yeah. No, but the talk that we're hearing, I mean, obviously now after the Skriniar stuff, we can't trust everything, but we're hearing positive things coming out that, yeah, after Hakan's going to be done, Darmian's been done, Bastoni's going to be next up, and they're already talking about 4.5 million. So nice little bump up for him, taking him to near the top earners of this team. So yeah, hopefully that gets done. But let's finish up, Hussein. Let's finish up with some predictions. I mean, lineup, as we said, we are completely happy with the predicted lineup, just as the team that played against Milan in the Supercoppa. What do you think? What do you think? Are you going to go anti jinx and can predict a draw or a loss, or are you going to go full confidence, go for a win?
Nah, I'm a full confidence kind of man.
Mm.
So I will go. I think we'll go 2-0 Inter.
Ooh, clean sheet.
Clean sheet, man. I think we'll get that clean sheet. No messing about this time. I think
Hmm.
Lautaro is gonna play superb. I think he's gonna get a goal.
Hmm.
But I think our second goal scorer, it might come off a set piece. So I feel like someone like a Cherby from the back might head it in, or maybe Skriniar. I think one of our defenders will score as well.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that. We've not scored as many set pieces this season. It's been disappointing. Um,
Yeah,
it'll be
I'm
good.
taking a risk with my prediction, but I just feel it's about time.
Oh,
We gotta
tomorrow
score,
is the
man.
bride's birthday. Apparently, Nicola says that could
Oh,
be a
sure.
perfect birthday present. Well, I'll give you this scenario, bro. Milan Skriniar scoring tomorrow.
Oh my God. Man, I think Inter Twitter is gonna fall apart if he scores, man. Everyone's gonna be divided. Like, let's go, Skriniar scoring against Milan, and then the other half is like, this piece of whatever is he's scoring before he goes back to PSG. Like, oh hell no.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be funny. Everyone micro analyzing his celebration, like, oh no, look, he's not celebrating like he normally does.
There's gonna be like clips of him. They're gonna see where his hands positioning. They're gonna look at his face, his mouth, like
Yeah.
all of that. They're gonna see, it's not a real celebration, or it's like he's sad he's going to PSG. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. And Indra makes actually a good point that I forgot to bring up. But yeah, Inzaghi actually hasn't won a Milan derby in the league yet. Like he's
Yeah,
smashed them in the Coppa Italia 3-0 last year, smashed them in the Super Cup this year. But league league wise, last year was a draw and a loss, then a loss this year. So he definitely needs a win in the league. What do you make of
yeah.
that record, by the way? Do you feel like he is a cup merchant?
I've been suggesting for a while that he low key is a cup merchant, just
Mm,
because I mean, what he's done with Lazio. I mean, he's gotten them to top four. That's obviously a good thing.
mm,
Um, and there were times I think even Lazio were like first place for a few match days, but then he just kind of fell apart from there. I think
yeah.
especially in like 2019-20, that season, if I'm not mistaken, they were up there for quite a few days, but then
Yeah,
just
the
fell
COVID
apart.
season they were like top of the league.
Exactly, yeah. So they just kind of fell apart from there. But I wouldn't suggest he's completely a cup merchant, because at the same time, I just think he's had a string of bad luck with our players. I don't want to get into it too much, but we've been first place. We've had our good runs. It's just some players have sort of let him down.
Mm,
So yeah, I'm not gonna say he's entirely a cup merchant, though. It's just that's just how he is. Though he's just much better at cup matches than he is in the
yeah.
league, and that's not a bad thing, especially for Inter. If we can win another Coppa Italia, that'd be great.
Mm,
Silverware is always important. It's always great for especially newer players, and players that are still young, developing a winning mentality. And that's obviously what you get Simone for. He did the same at Lazio. Won a few Coppa Italia, Super Coppas. That's obviously a good thing. So yeah, it is a bit underwhelming just because even at our worst, we could always beat, Milan and just get our moments of happiness in the league. But right now, he hasn't really done that. But I think there's always a first time for everything, right? So I think tomorrow can be that day.
Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. Some people predicting some big score lines. Victor predicted 4-2. Ahmad said 3-1 win. Lukaku will score and Marcus come back. Lautaro will get a double. That would be lovely. A Lula derby like the
Yeah.
good old days.
Nah, someone
Yeah.
really said Barella bicycle kick.
Yeah, Edson, where is he? Edson said it. Where is it? Yeah, yeah. Oh no, that's between more Italians. Where's it go? Oh yeah, here it is. 1-0. That would be epic. That would be epic.
That
But yeah,
would be.
captain I think should be Lautaro as usual, as he has been recently tomorrow. So
Yeah, I was just gonna mention that earlier. Actually, I forgot to. Yeah, I think the captain should be Lautaro. I know some people they want like Barella to be captain, but I think for now just keep it with Lautaro.
yeah, I
But
mean they have a system as Inzaghi explained.
yeah,
Like it's just how it is. Like it will be Lautaro regardless of people's opinions. But I'm not a fan of the system, but it kind of like just I guess makes life easy. They just know who's in line.
yeah, exactly. I mean, to be fair, everyone on this team is a leader on the pitch. I just
Yeah,
think the way
exactly.
I've seen it, everyone's vocal, everyone's telling each other where to go, do this or
Mm.
that. So you can see everyone really is a leader. But of course, the main captain has to be Lautaro for me.
Yeah. No, and he has been really leading us like a captain from the front recently as well. Really showed how much it means to him. Almighty Blue says he'll be happy with a draw. I'm sure, yeah, Milan fans will probably be happy with a draw with the way things are going. And they're missing how many players? They're missing Magnon, Florenzi, Ibra, Benacer, Tomori, Dest. Like everything is pointing in the direction of Inter. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling like an anti-jinx, bro. Like I feel like I'm pussying out, but I'm feeling an anti-jinx, like 1-1 draw prediction. But your confidence is also passing on to me. So
Yeah.
surely, like they got Tatarusano in goal. Like I keep saying this, just shoot on sight, man. Hakan, even if you're halfway line, just have a go. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? That's what Hakan did when he saw Ter Stegen, man. He just shot it, boom, went in. You gotta do the
Yeah,
same to Tatarusanu, man. Take
yeah,
your
like
chances.
yeah, Barella, Mkhitaryan, everyone just have some shots at goal. That because Magnon is really, really a big miss. Like if people say, oh, Leao won MVP last year, but I think Magnon could have easily won it as well. To be honest, he's a
Yeah,
he's a really big miss.
100%, 100%.
So yeah, I'm gonna go 2-1 win. I think Milan are gonna show some heart, some fight, like more than they have recently. The form has been crap, but I think in the derbies it just kind of wakes you up a little bit. So I think they might even go 1-0 up, but then I think in the long run we just prove to be superior once again. And Lautaro to score and give us an epic captain's armband picture. And as you said, one of the defenders. One of the defenders. I'm gonna say Skriniar. Fuck it. Skriniar's gonna score tomorrow.
He's the type to score after all of this, man. That's the funny thing. Like he
Yeah.
really is. Oh my god. I just want to see the look on everyone's faces if he does actually score. That would be hilarious.
Yeah. Milan Skriniar scoring against Milan. That would be just I mean, he that would be a great way to end his Inter. Like he can't end it how he ended against Empoli because that's just the worst possible way. He needs to like
Yeah,
give us some good stuff in his last few months.
exactly. Yeah, we can't end it on a red card, man. Cannot end it on a red
No,
card. Give us a goal. Give us a clean sheet. Give us something, man.
yeah. Look, our positivity is paying off as well. Nicholas changed his prediction. Uh, oh man, if this
Oh
guy
my
kisses the badge, I will lose my mind.
no, it's another Hakimi, man. Another Hakimi situation.
Yeah. No, but the Hakimi one, is Buddy Thomas. That's his fault. Hakimi even said in the interview straight after he did that, he wasn't even talking about like staying. He was just saying like we won this title on the pitch. Like he wasn't even saying it like in that way. But
Yeah, man.
Lukaku, this would be a Lukaku thing if he kisses the Inter badge. Oh, Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Lord.
of course, Milan Miss Ibra, of course, the cheerleader, the number one cheerleader, his
The
pom-poms
cheerleader.
on the sides, on the
Hakan's
sideline.
number one fan. Hakan's number one fan.
Oh my god. Mandate Musajo Hakan. Idiot. But yeah, bro, Hussein, thank you very much for coming on. I wasn't expecting I wasn't sure who was gonna come on, but it was good to see you on, man.
Yeah,
Where
of
can
course,
people
man.
follow you? Someone was asking where they've lost you on Twitter. So
Yeah,
where can people follow
so
you?
Elon Musk hates me, guys. So you can find me on at Arko Marnautovic. It's just Marko
Oh, is
Arnautovic.
that you?
That's me, yeah.
Oh damn. Because I saw, yeah, you tagged me something. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
Oh yeah, it was I tagged you on that random video about Hakan, man. I don't
Yeah, yeah.
know. That guy went through so much stuff, man. But yeah, that is me. I got suspended, but I know it was, I think, Peach asked me. I'm pretty sure I follow Peach. I just think he's not sure, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, you need to put it like in your bio or something that what your previous at was or something, so
Yeah,
people
I
know.
try to keep it low key. I told Nima as well, but I guess
Yeah.
now's the time I can reveal myself. But yeah,
Yeah, no. You've told
Uncle
53
Sharma.
people.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Uncle Sharma, good to be here, man. I appreciate you for having me on. And I'll say if you ever do this again, I'll try to come back on. I gotta go now, actually. So it's perfect ending because I gotta
Mhm.
go to the city. I'm in New York, so
Nice.
gotta do some stuff. Yeah, so again, always great to be on this channel. Always great to listen to you. Always great to be surrounded by this inter community. And everyone, make sure if you haven't to like and subscribe to Uncle Sharma. He's always working hard, putting out some amazing content. And building this amazing inter community on both YouTube and Twitter. So again, kudos to you, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Have a good day.
Of course, you too, man.
Take care. Yeah, guys. So we will close up now as well. Now that Hussein is left, thank you everyone that has come in. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the new channel members as well. Haider and Ahmad, and the donation from Anthony LaFleur as well. Appreciate you all. And yeah, tomorrow, guys, tomorrow morning, UK time anyway, 11:30. Make sure you check me out on Almighty Blues FC channel. We'll be previewing the derby with him. Looking forward to that. And we'll celebrate Skriniar. Nah, man, I'm celebrating anyone who scores for Inter will celebrate. But I respect your opinion. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for post-match reaction. Hopefully positive one. Ciao ragazzi. Forte Inter.